Where the pipeline is going is under the Hudson River. It starts out in Rockland County, then it goes under the Hudson River, and where it comes up in Verplanck is right across the street from St. Patrick's Church. Then it turns and goes up Broadway, turns to the north, and that's where it goes across Broadway, and that's where it is very close to the Indian Point nuclear power plant. The reason that Spectra Energy is building the pipeline at this specific location is because that's the cheapest way for them to build it. AIM is the name of the project. It's the Algonquin Incremental Markets Project, and that's the name that Spectra gave it. The pipelines in the U.S., these long-term, long-distance pipelines, had ruptures on average 6 times a week, and that's just too high a rate of failure to risk it going next to the Indian Point nuclear plant. It runs next to one of the oldest, most accident-prone nuclear power plants in the U.S. that sits on 2 earthquake fault lines, and those fault lines in proximity to the Indian Point power plant have been judged by the Nuclear Regulatory Commission to have the greatest chance of core damage to a nuclear plant of any plant in the United States. And if it ruptured next to the Indian Point power plant, there could be a 1,000-foot or more blast radius of heat that can melt steel and vaporize aluminum, which would lead to a meltdown, could lead to a meltdown of the cores there. The pipeline goes within 105 feet of the backup generator fuel. It goes within 115 feet of the primary electrical system that keeps the core cool, and the radius that could be irradiated is a 50-mile radius around Indian Point, which includes all of Manhattan and a great deal of New Jersey, Connecticut, Long Island, all of the boroughs. And those areas would be uninhabitable for 50,000 years or more. And it's the financial center of not only our country, but of the world. And if it was uninhabitable, any financial expert would tell you that would lead to world economic collapse. The pipeline has effects even if there is no rupture at the power plant. The pipelines emit methane, and the methane from fracking, methane is what's commonly called natural gas, but there's nothing really natural about it. It's animals that died millions of years ago, and now we're burning them. The way they get the fracked gas is to inject water that has a lot of chemicals into it, into the soil, into the seams in the rock where they've discovered that there are gas deposits. The water breaks up the rock, then they pull the water back out, and with that comes the fracked gas. But the chemicals that are in the water, plus the radon that is naturally in the gas, all come out with it. The radon that is in fracked gas is much, much higher than the radon that occurs in the more traditionally extracted natural gas. And if your home has too much radon, you're really supposed to do some kind of remediation because it's a known carcinogen. So you're getting all of this gas from very deep in the earth that's far more, has far more radon in it than the natural gas that you would have had in prior times. But that's not even the worst part. The worst part is that all of the chemicals that are in the fracking water come out. The fracking liquids, we don't even know what all of the chemicals that they put on into those are. But the ones that we do know, there are many of them that are carcinogenic. They're cause breathing, respiratory problems, can cause low birth weight babies, cancer, it runs the gamut.